Hi everyone, today I'm doing a beginner's eyeshadow tutorial and in this video I'm going to be explaining what parts of the eye what kind of brushes you need, a few good cheap eyeshadows and just a simple everyday look for beginners with eyeshadow. And I'll probably also do a beginner's smoky eye and go a bit more into detail about how to do a smoky eye. So if you want to learn how to get a nice simple beginner's makeup look, then just carry on watching. Okay, so first of all you want to figure out which parts of the eye are which. So first of all we have the brow bone, which obviously sounds simple, is the bone underneath your eyebrow, which is where you would highlight. And the next we've got the socket or the crease, which if you kind of tilt your head back and kind of can feel it just in there, just that socket there underneath the brow bone where your eye hollows in, that's your crease. You've got your lid, which is obviously this part of the eye, your outer V, which will be this bit just out here. You've got your tear duct, your upper and lower lash lines, which is right into the eyelashes, and then you've got your water lines, which are the bits the wet tissue inside the eye. So if you ever get confused between waterline and lash line, the waterline's inside the eye. I'd say for a simple eyeshadow look you'd probably need 3 brushes, and these are 3 of my favourite brushes and they're all pretty inexpensive. The first one is a flat shader brush, and that can be used to highlight and pack colour onto the lid, and also if you take it flat you could smudge colour under the lower lash line. This one is from e.l.f. and it's called a professional eyeshadow brush. That's what that looks like. The next one is this kind of blending brush. This one is from Coastal Scents and it is the 250, and it's like kind of flat but dome shaped, and this is good for getting in the outer V, in the crease, blending, a light wash across the lid. Is really good for quite a lot of things. This brush is about £4, but there's only a few websites that sell Coastal Scents in this country, so you might want to just Google Coastal Scents. If you're in America it's a lot easier to find, but yeah, this is only £4 for this brush. And the last one you probably need is a pencil brush or some kind of small brush. This is good for getting in the tear duct area, underneath the lower lash line. This is by e.l.f. and this one's called the Professional Eye Crease Brush. And this can also be good for doing like really cut crease looks. So these would be the 3 brushes I would recommend for a starter to get. And the next thing is primer. Primer is tricky because quite a lot of people think if they see someone applying primer, oh, you must need primer. But whether you need primer or not depends on your skin type. I personally have quite oily eyelids, so if I don't apply primer then my eyeshadow will crease. And what that means is like where the oil seep through, you'll see a line in where your eye naturally creases and the eyeshadow will kind of clump together there. That's just the natural oils of your eyelid, so applying a primer will stop your natural oils coming through. However, if you don't have oily eyelids then your eyeshadow shouldn't crease, so you might want to kind of test it out for a day without any primer, see if your eyeshadow creases, see how long they last for as well, because they might kind of fade off and slip off if you don't use a primer. And then once you've done that, if you've tried that out for a day and they crease or they don't last, then I'd recommend using a primer. This one is by MUA and I think this was about £2.50, but any primer you do, I think this is the cheapest one I've found and it works just as good as any others. So I'll just take a bit of that, run it over the eyelid, and I'm going to run a bit underneath the lower lash line as well. And then all I'm going to do is just blend this in with my finger. So eyeshadow palettes I'd recommend would be the Sleek palettes, and I have quite a lot of these, but these 2 would probably be my most highly recommended for beginners. The first one is the Sleek Storm palette. As you can see I've loved this quite a bit. The reason I like this so much is because it's got the matte mid-tone, the matte dark brown and the matte black, because I always think you should have matte colours as well as shimmer. And then it's got some like nice pinks and purples and a few like blue greens with a gold and a brown. So it's quite a good palette if you do want to venture on to using colours eventually. But if you want to stick with neutrals, then the one I'd recommend is the Au Natural palette. Again, it's got a good range of like matte shades, and then it's got some shimmer. It's got the black and a white, and then some browns. It's all neutral colours. So it's all neutral colours, and this is the one I'm going to be using today to create this look. So I'm going to start off by highlighting the brow bone, and I'm going to use a matte white eyeshadow. The brow bone, you can use matte or shimmer. I personally prefer matte. I'm going in with a flat shaded brush and just pushing that into the brow bone, and this will make it stand out more, look lifted and more prominent. And then I'm going to take this shimmery light colour and I'm going to run that all the way over the lid, again with a flat shaded brush. This is going to make the lid look nice and sparkly and quite bright. So on the flat shaded brush, just push that over the eyelid. Try to push instead of swipe, because if you swipe, the eyeshadows will kind of fall down. And if you've already applied your face makeup, then this might disturb it. And then I'm going to take my Coastal Scents 250 brush, and you could use any of these matte mid-tones. For the crease, I definitely recommend a matte eyeshadow, because what you want to do when you're shading in the crease is make it look more pushed back, a bit more defined, and shimmer highlights and brings stuff forward, whereas matte recedes it. So I'm going to take this colour for me, but obviously depending on your skin tone you can pick whichever one you'd like. So any matte eyeshadow, and then you can look down into your mirror, and that helps you see your crease a bit better. And just begin working that in, just like in a windshield wiper motion. And this can also help blend out any lines of the lid colour. Sometimes that can look a bit harsh. So just blend it backwards and forwards. And the key with eyeshadow is to blend, so just take your time and try not to rush. I know it can take quite a long time, but it's better to look blended than just to look really harsh and messy. And then you can kind of just leave it at that if you just wanted like a nice light eyeshadow. But if you wanted to add a bit more definition, then you could go in with any of the kind of darker browns. I'm going to take this one here because again it's matte. I prefer matte in the outer corner and crease, but if you prefer shimmer, then you can use one of these colours. And on this Coastal Scents brush, I'm going to look into the mirror and starting at the lash line, just kind of wiggle it there and wiggle it kind of in the outer part of the crease, creating this sideways V shape. And you always want to start with a little and build up, otherwise if you put too much on, it's a lot harder to take away than it is to add more. So just start really slow and use a light touch with your hand. And you can see that adds a lot more kind of drama to the eyes. So if you wanted your eyes to stand out a bit more, then you can add the dark colour. And then I'm going to go in with the pencil brush and take the same colour we applied on the lid, and I'm going to pop that in the inner tear duct. What this will do is kind of brighten up the eyes, but depending on the shape of your eyes you might want to choose a different colour. A light colour will push the eyes further apart, so if you have quite close to eyes then you want to apply like a kind of light icy white colour in here. If you have quite wide set eyes, then you probably want to apply like more of a peachy gold colour in here, and this kind of draws them closer together. And if you just have kind of eyes that are not really either, they're quite even, then you could probably go either way. If you wanted to create a more cat eye, then you'd probably use the peach colour. If you wanted to create more like a wide doll-eyed effect, then you would use the white icy colour. And then I'm just going to go in with this shimmery brown and apply that to the lower lash line, because I like to use shimmer on the lower lash line, and I like to take it quite dramatic under the lower lash line. Obviously if you don't feel comfortable, just take it to where you want it. So you just want to kind of open your eyes quite wide and just run it underneath the lashes. And then you could just apply some eyeliner. You could apply a liquid or a gel to the upper lash line, which I don't like to do too much because I have quite hooded eyes. So if I apply a line of eyeliner, you can't really see that much of my lid with my eyes wide open. So all you can kind of see is the black of the eyeliner without the eyeshadow. So I don't wear eyeliner on my upper lash line on a daily basis. And you could also apply some eyeliner in the waterline. You could apply a black or a brown or a nude colour. Again, I don't like to wear eyeliners on the waterline on a daily basis because I feel like it can irritate the eyes if you wear it too much, and it's a lot more natural if you just leave it bare. But that's again all personal preference, depending on how dramatic you want your look. And I know this is quite dramatic for some people for a daytime, but like I said, you don't have to apply the dark colour in the outer corner. So all that's left to do now is curl your eyelashes and add some mascara, and then that will complete the look. Okay, so this is the look with the whole face. So you can see the eyes are quite bright and defined, but they don't look overly heavy. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some good tips if you were just starting out in makeup, and thank you for watching.